Garland, really?
Yeah.
All right.
Wasn't that God's Land?
What?
Wasn't that God's Land at one time?
God's? Was it?
What cult showed up there? 1999?
Oh, 1999? No, it was still Garland then.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's all grown. Things change here pretty fast, you know. I don't come back a whole lot, you know. Usually, if I'm coming back to visit with family, it's somewhere else. Not that I don't like Garland, but it just happens that way. But when I do come back to Garland, it's like a new freeway or something. And it's like, it's so confusing too, because you have to have one of those toll things or whatever you put up on your window or whatever it is, or you have to pay. Or you get pulled over or something. So it's kind of weird, you know. Freeways are free, so I guess that makes that it would be a tollway, right? Yeah. We don't have a lot of those in California. But we have a lot of freeway. A lot of cars parked on the freeway. It's who am I? Let's see. I started off. I was in Power Rangers. I'm in Power Rangers. That's obviously the first big thing that I'd ever done in my entire life. Although I went to school. But the funny thing is, I was registering for college when I got asked to go audition again, and so basically I was there for like a day, and then I left, and I wasn't going back. I had some guy who was going to be, I think, my dorm guy or whatever, roommate or whatever. He's laying in his bed, and he's like, "Life sucks," and I was laying in mine. I was thinking, "Yeah, you suck, dude. I got to get out of here." Okay, after that, let's see, I got into voice acting. Vash and Trigun. And I went on, I did Kaneda and Akira, Kiba and Wolf's Rain. And then, you know, I've done a lot. I'm just trying to think of some of the ones that Mike Kamashiro? Yeah, Please Twins. Nero and Devil May Cry 4, yes. Ichigo, Lelouch, Geass, Guy, Tales of the Abyss. Yeah, I've done a few games as well.
Sylphie.
Sylphie, yes, I was in Sylphie. I don't know who I was though. There's a lot of games where I don't know who I am. Yeah, but half the time I'm either doing my natural range this, or, you know, like a young kid voice like Renton or Klaus in Last Exile, stuff like that. So kind of like, those are the only two that they ever hire me for. It's true.
There's also Genma and Naruto.
Genma, Naruto, yes. I play a few different characters in Naruto. I played a few guys that died. There's like a bunch of random dying ninjas, which was pretty cool. So, this is a Q&A. I'm declaring it a Q&A. So I started thinking of some questions, and I'll try to answer them. I ramble, so this is gonna be stupid. I don't feel like you're hurting my feelings if you walk out in the middle of this, even though you will be. Yeah. So I'll open up for questions. Yeah.
When you first started out in voice acting, you obviously had to go and find a job. After you did the voice acting, you trying to get another job. Did people come and find you, or did you actually have to go and search for work for a couple of years after you did a couple of jobs? That made sense.
Well, no, it did make sense. It's kind of weird, you know. It's kind of both ways, you know. At least my experience has been. With Power Rangers, I went to a big audition when I was here, you know, and there's a big long line of people. When I got into, I'll explain my life to you guys. After Power Rangers, I did like this independent film, right? And it was called Wicked Gang, changed to Extreme Heist or whatever. It's a horrible film unless you like to watch cheesy stuff and then a lot of cool fighting, and that's all it is. And but it's fun for that, I guess. And then, but anyhow, when we were doing that, like the sound guy somehow screwed something up. So like throughout the whole film, it was just, you couldn't hear us. And so they wanted me to come back in and dub over myself, and I was like, okay, sure. And so I was in there and I was dubbing over myself, and then they'd come in and say, you got a good hero voice. And then I was like, I ain't the hero. That's good, right? Should I have a bad guy? But I don't get it. But then they're like, yeah, you got a decent, young hero kind of voice. And I was like, okay. And then eventually, after a couple sessions, they were like, we're doing this animation or whatever, and we're looking for somebody that's kind of has your kind of range or whatever. If you can come by and audition for us, and I was like, sure. This is after Power Rangers. I was looking for a job, so anything other than Taco Bell, I guess. So I went in and they showed me this stuff, and it was for Trigun. So I mean, it was kind of wild and wacky. And they played the Japanese first, and they had somebody else doing the part for Vash. It was kind of like a lower tone or whatever. And they said, well, you got a higher range. Can you just kind of like do something goofy like the Japanese? I was like, sure. So I gave it a shot, and then I got it. So anyhow, so I got that. I got Trigun, which was my first anime dubbing, which was really awesome and scary at the same time. And I have a slight Texas accent, if you want to watch that. And it kind of works because it's kind of Westernish. But anyhow, so I did that. But after that, like, I just got called up and they're like, hey, we heard you as Vash, will you do the voice of Canada or whatever, and Akira? And I was like, sure. And then from there, like for a little while, it was just like, we heard you in this, we heard you in that, and brought me in. And then other directors that I started working with would talk to other directors, and they'd say, is he cool to work with? Well, we'll bring him in for an audition. So I'd audition. So it's kind of like both, I guess. I answered that, but like so long, huh? I should have just got straight to the point. Sorry, man, I wasted so much of your time. I can't give you that time back. I'm really sorry, guys. Yes.
Have you ever had one of those moments after you're just watching yourself, like, just like, hey, that's actually me playing that character?
Only when it's really cool. And then I'm like, because like I'm not usually really cool, so I go, dang, that was cool. That was me! That's awesome, man. If I could only do that in real life. Yeah, but I mean, when I first started doing stuff, then it was weird, It's like, when you leave your voicemail message or whatever, you try to make it sound cool, I give up after a while. I'm just like, it's Johnny Lee, bye. And that's kind of how mine is, and I've had the same voicemail message for like 10 years now, I think. And it sounds like a girl. So yeah.